This is WAEC June 2022 General Mathematics Paper 2, and we are answering question number 1b, and the question reads: two positive numbers are in the ratio 3:4. The sum of thrice the first number and twice the second number is 68. The question asked is to find the smaller number. The smaller number from this question is the one that have this ratio 3, and it will now be the first number. So a solution to this very problem. So what you now do first is to let x and y or any other letter to stand for the first and the second number respectively. So if you now let x and y be first and the second number respectively, which means x is the first number and is now the smaller number which we are asked in the question, and y is the second number which has this ratio 4. So from this very statement, the ratio of the two numbers first to second is now 3:4. So you can now write x divided by y, that is x over y, to be equals to 3 divided by 4, because x is the one that has ratio 3 and y is the one that has ratio 4. So x ratio y will now simply be 3:4. Now move to the question again. The sum of thrice the first, that is 3 times x, added to twice the second, that is the 2 times y. The result will give answer 68. That will enable me to get another second equation, 3x plus the 2y equals to 68. So if I call this equation 1, I'd call this equation 2. So from equation 1, you can now make y subject of the formula. From equation 1, you simply cross multiply and divide both sides by the coefficient of y. That will give you y equals to 4x divided by 3. This will now be y. So you now substitute this y in equation 2. So if that is done correctly, you now have substituting y in equation 2, you now have 3x plus the 2 times instead y. You now replace this y by 4x over 3. So you now have 2 multiplied by bracket, inside the bracket is 4x over 3. That equals to 68. So next is to clear this very fraction, that is this denominator 3. Let me just clear it. I will now multiply each and every term by this 3. If that is now done correctly, you now have 9x, that is 3x times 3, that will give you 9x. And this term also 2 times the bracket times 3, the 3 will cancel 3, you now have 2 times 4x, which gives you this 8x. And 68 multiplied by 3 is what gives you 204. So you can now further add 9x and 8x to get 17x equals to 204. So next is to divide both sides by 17, the coefficient of x, in order to get x. If that is done correctly, we now have x equals to 12. Remember, x is the very first number, which is now the smaller number based on this ratio. So we now have the smaller number. Let me just write it in statement form. So you now have the smaller number as the 12, and this answered the question. So let me just share with you quickly how this very question is now marked during the marking of this very paper, WAEC 2022. So the very first mark is the bonus 1 mark, and this bonus 1 mark is for getting these equations x over y equals to 3/4 or 3x plus 2y equals to 68. You now have this bonus 1 mark. The next mark is attempted to solve that very system of equation using any method. You now have this method 1 mark. And when you now have the value of x, that is the smaller number, as 12 exactly, you now have this accuracy 1 mark. So if everything is now done correctly like this question will enable you to get 3 good marks.